Welcome to TYT Sports. What a panel we have. Shane Faison at the end from Fight Tips. Back joining us, Britton Harden, smoothest talker alive. And just me, the only non-fighter on the panel. But I'm just fresh from the dentist with a bit of a droopy lip, but I'm going to power through it because I want to talk more about this fight that's coming up. What's it called again? Oh, Maypac. Yeah, next week. So we have we're gonna talk about both fighters individually, and the first one we're going to talk about is Manny Pacquiao, and we want to know, with you two guys on here and studying these guys in and out, basically, how they fight. So I'm going to start with you, Shane, to go into it. We've got Manny Pacquiao, biggest fight of his life, compared to Mayweather. Since this first fight was predicted, Pacquiao has been questioned to be whether or not he's at the top of his game anymore, been knocked down a couple of times. What are you expecting to see from Manny Pacquiao in this fight?
Obviously, the first thing you're going to see is his speed. You know, his hand speed. Everyone loves and talks about Manny Pacquiao's hand speed, but the thing that I noticed the most is his footwork. Incredible footwork, creating angles while punching, right? Mayweather likes to stay against the ropes a lot of times, especially in his later fights. And Pacquiao, if you watch his training now with Freddie Roach, he's training those punches, and once he throws 2 or 3, he's stepping to the side, he's coming over top of that right hand, similar to what Maidana did against Mayweather. So I think he's sort of going for that style, trying to come up over top of that lead shoulder, that Philly shell, and land that right hand.
So, Britton, I know you're a fan of Floyd. We've talked about him many times. He's a defensive genius, like the guy. There's a reason why he's still one of the most handsome boxers around, because he's barely been touched in the face. How does Pacquiao overcome that? How does he try and break that barrier of, as Shane just said, he likes to back up to the ropes, and he's rarely hit. How does Pacquiao break past that?
Well, if Mayweather does find himself on the ropes, what he's going to have to do is attack him. Attack him, and that means he has to be the Manny Pacquiao of old. As a matter of fact, he can't be Manny Pacquiao. He has to be the Pac-Man. He has to go back to being the Pac-Man, the fighter who is not afraid to throw 4, 5, 6 punch combinations, and he might, receive 2 or 3 punches back. He has to go back to that, and he has to really break Floyd down. And the other thing he has to do is not necessarily look for a target or a place to hit him. I want to hit him in the chin. I want to hit him in the nose. I want to hit him in the ribs. Hit him everywhere you can and try and break him down somehow, because he's so good at making the punches glide right past him, roll off his shoulder, hit him on the elbow, which hurts you if you punch him catch him on the elbow. He has to just try and break that guy down and break through that defense. Yeah,
and one thing, we done some of the fights a few weeks back, the fights that were on NBC, and I remember the numerous amount of fighters that were on there, they didn't even throw that many punches in general. I think that, for me, that was just my perspective. I went in and I seen a lot of these fights, and coming from the UK, they just seemed that some of these fights break into a brawl, and especially with some of the fighters like Frock, who I love, they do pick the punches, but there's a lot of punches thrown. But in this fight, do you expect to see a lot of punches thrown? I know, what about you in terms of Pacquiao? Do you expect him to throw a numerous amount of punches to try and catch Mayweather on a one-off?
That's Manny Pacquiao. He throws high-volume punches. Mayweather's going to try to dictate the pace. He's going to try to catch him in between those punches, and he's good at clinching up. He's good at tying up when he has to, whether he gets hit or if he's just trying to stop those punches from coming in. He ties him up, and he does it strategically, and it works. So we'll see. I know Manny Pacquiao's going to try. He's going to try to throw a lot of punches. That's what's going to win him the fight.
Is there a possibility of him being knocked down by Pacquiao?
Well, Manny Pacquiao is good at fighting like Manny Pacquiao. He's the best at doing that. And what I mean is he's good at finding his range. That in and out movement where he can hit someone and not necessarily be hit back. He's kind of declined in doing it in recent fights, but in his prime, he was the best at doing so. And I think for him to win, he's going to have to fight his best fight. So that's what Freddie Roach has been charged in preparing him to do. So if he can cut a certain angle, catch Floyd where he doesn't see a punch coming, then it's boxing. One punch can change anything in the sport of boxing. And that's what we love about it. It doesn't matter what the paper says, doesn't matter what history says. One punch can change the rest of the fight for any one man. So does he have an opportunity? Of course, he's Manny Pacquiao. Is it probable? I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's true. And if there's one man you want to put your faith in for that one punch, it would be Manny Pacquiao. Does this affect Pacquiao? Because he, for me, came under more criticism for how his boxing has aged compared to Floyd Mayweather. Does this affect him when he goes into the ring? Does he come out with the significance of the event wrapped up and maybe cause some different actions than what you'd expect?
There's going to be a lot of pressure on Pacquiao. Here's the way I see it. If Floyd wins, he's still TBA, right? He's still the best ever. He's 48-0 now. If he goes out and he buys 10 more cars, that's what happens, right? But if Pacquiao loses, is he done after that? He didn't beat Floyd Mayweather. That's the conflict, the conversation that people have been having for years. Is that it? That Mayweather's the better man? Is there a rematch after that? So I think there's a lot of pressure on Pacquiao, and I don't think it's going to show. I think he's cool under pressure. He's fought some of the best people in boxing, and he's done well there.
I think the first round is going to be a lot of nervous energy. Actually, I can see mistakes, from both men. But the person who is proven historically to be able to deal with that kind of pressure more so is Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen as a result of nerves and not knowing exactly what to do given a certain predicament. Floyd has trained himself to just muscle memory. When I see a fighter do this, this is how I react to it.
And another point we have to bring up is the fact that it seems like Pacquiao has the whole world on his shoulders, and even more so the Philippines, who looked at him as their icon, as their hero, and even as one stat, the crime rate goes down when he fights. There's just so many people are just anticipating watching him fight. And it was funny, it was Bob Arum that came out and says that Pacquiao is actually the Americans' favourite to win it, because Floyd Mayweather, as we know, very controversial around certain figures, but he's a professional boxer, but some people either love him or hate him.
He's the villain.
Yeah, he's the villain.
Yeah.
It seems like Pacquiao is just someone who's a very likable character. He always does he does the right things, but whether that comes down to affecting things in the boxing ring, I don't think so as much. It's about who's going to be the more professional in the ring, right?
Right.
So, I think these are just roles that both men play very, very well.
Yeah.
Floyd knows that people want him to lose, so they'll pay to see him lose.
Yeah.
And Manny he's Manny. He's a philanthropist. He has a kind heart. People enjoy his smile, so he plays up that. He plays up that role. It's just roles that both men know that they can cash in when it's time to draw hype around the fight.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think, Shane, it adds some more pressure, the fact that Manny is so loved within the Philippines, that he's looked at as that national hero?
I mean, it's going to be pressure, right? You got a whole country rooting for you, but that's the case in every fight.
Yeah.
And he's calm, he's cool under pressure, just like Floyd is. It's going to go to the distance, this fight. I'm gonna call it and say this fight goes the distance. They're going to be anxious at first. They're going to be flinching, they're going to be hesitating, but they're boxers. They're ready for the 12-round fight. They've been here time and time again.
All right, my money's on it. I just took your word for it. I'm going to put it in Vegas, and I'll expect a reimbursement if it doesn't go through. But also, if you want to know more about this issue and how big of a role Manny Pacquiao plays in terms of the Philippines as a whole, head over to our friends at TestTube Daily. They've got a great video on this in terms of what he means to the Philippines as a whole country.
One of the most popular Filipino citizens is Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao grew up in poverty but went on to become a boxing icon and a dominating force in pop culture, politics, and other sports. Although around 25% of the population still lives in poverty, Pacquiao is a huge source of inspiration for many Filipinos. His upcoming fight against Floyd Mayweather is expected to captivate the entire country. Millions of fans will be tuning in and rooting for Pacquiao in what's being called the fight of the century. In fact, the crime rate of the Philippines has been known to drop significantly during his boxing matches.